Okay. So now what? I have identified that, okay, there are these 4 MPVs. I went out to my venture cap. I want to now reach out to my venture capitalists and seek funding. So what do I do? Do you realize that to develop a proposal into a product and seek funding may take a lot of time, and in that time, the market may evolve, the market may change, needs may change, another MPV may appear. Can that happen? Or probably alternative 3 would kind of also catch up somewhere. Can it happen?
Yes, sir.
So as an entrepreneur, your key goal, key objective has to be reduce the time to market. So now do not look at it only as an entrepreneur. Look at it also as, if you want to give absolutely final product to the customer, you cannot really wait for 3 years when your solution is fully ready. You somehow want some early feedback so that you can improvise you know that you're on the right track. See, everything given, market dynamics are not in your control. Customer requirements are not in your control. Are they? No. So what do? You now design what we call as minimum viable product. So over here, we're talking about MPV, minimum main parameter of value. Over here, I've just played around with the terms and what we call it as minimum viable product. Now, what is this minimum viable product? Have you heard about it earlier?
Yes.
What is minimum viable product?
A basic prototype of our final product, from which we can get some feedback.
So we want this prototype to be cheap. We want to be able to arrive at this prototype very early. So if you notice,
It can provide the functionality that is required for the customer, but maybe it's not the end product that needs to be tested.
yes, for example, see, this was the key MPV because of which someone would move from alternative 3 to my product. This improvement I have kept intact. Whatever was the weakness of alternative 3, that also I improved. What was already a reasonable strength, I wanted to be much stronger there. There I did not put much effort. So I've cut down on my efforts a bit. And, or instead of this green over here, it could be a yellow. That I show some improvement and let us see, does the customer want it? But yellow yahan pe bhi tha. That is why I chose to give a light green there. Okay. So what we are trying to do is we want to put a quick prototype into the system and see into the market and see what the response is. For those of you who are circuit designers, for example, you would want a quick silicon feedback. Okay, let me just bring some things together and take a quick feedback. If it is working, if the customer is happy with this prototype, or even before silicon feedback, you would say, okay, let me just make a model. Let me make a model and send it to the customers and get feedback from them. Does it help them? If the model works, great, I will go on to silicon fabrication. Because going to the final product could be very costly. So you have to look at what is the MVP, minimum viable product, which the customer can play with and give you feedback. And that MVP is also defined based on this benchmarking. Do you realize this? Because you have to differentiate yourself from other alternatives that exist in the market. Any questions?
Sir, can you explain why here feedback is important?
Okay, let us say that to give your final product, there is a cost of 50 lakh rupees involved, let us say. Now, if you bring your first product into the market after investing that 50 lakh and realize, oh, there is this error that has crept in, or there is this feature that I did not consider, and therefore my product is not selling. Or you say, okay, I will release a alpha version of my product after investing about 10 lakhs. And then how to invest my remaining 40 lakhs or how to invest my remaining next 10 lakhs or next 20 lakhs will depend on which of these 2 or 3 new features that I added in my product does the customer like the most. So I will develop those features first. Or what is the sore point that customers find in my product? I will remove that sore point. So then how to use the remaining part of my funding, I will base it on the feedback from the customer. So what would you get that feedback on? You would get that feedback on what is called as a minimum viable product. Minimum product that is viable for a customer to use and play with. Are you able to see this?
Yes.
Any further questions on this?
Sir, taking a look at this table, can we like confirm that MPV3 is the most important kind of the basic parameter of value?
No. MPV3 is in fact something which is already met everywhere.
So
and
like,
met very well.
so let's say I was like kind of thinking to myself, like, let's say it is 2015 and 4G has just come up. So like MPV3 is like providing the 4G capability, and MPV2 could be like cost, and MPV could be like the camera quality, something like that.
Okay.
So here the ability to call becomes the most important thing. So so every product is trying to do better on that at first, then they are proceeding at the next step. So MPV3 is the most important.
So ऐसा नहीं कह सकते देवजीत. I would say that MPV3 is something which is definitely needed in the market. Definitely, मतलब it is kind of a implicit function that this product has to perform anyways.
Okay, sir.
मतलब it is the most important. हाँ, but most important कुछ और होगा आपके. In this particular example, for you, the most important MPV to develop is MPV4, because MPV3 may probably become a commodity now. It is already available in all the other products. It can be possibly insourced from any other team, or could be outsourced to a vendor also for incorporation, because it's already well established. देखो ना सब out of so alternative 2 को अगर हम छोड़ दें तो 3 alternative से 2 alternative में तो ये बहुत अच्छी तरह से well established है.
Yes, sir.
फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर हम डिलीवरी सिस्टम्स की बात करें तो 10 to 20 मिनट्स डिलीवरी ऑफ फूड और समथिंग, जो डिलीवरी का टाइम है, मतलब इतना छोटा जो टाइम वाला वो है, दैट इज ऑलरेडी वेल एस्टैब्लिश्ड. स्विगी भी कर रहा है, ब्लिंकिट भी कर रहा है, जोमैटो भी कर रहा है, सब कर रहे हैं.
हाँ, मतलब वो देना ही पड़ेगा, वो इम्प्लिसिटी
वो तो आपको देना ही पड़ेगा.
ठीक है.
सभी कर रहे हैं. अमेजन नहीं कर रहा, चलो ठीक है, बट अमेजन कहीं और कुछ दे रहा है. अमेजन इस पे प्ले कर रहा है.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this MPV3, in fact, you should not be applying your energy on. You should simply be picking up something which is already available off the shelves. You decide that to make my MVP, I will put my energies only on this and this, so that in a very focused way, very minimal cost, I'm able to get some feedback from the customer. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Shaina.
So while doing MPV analysis, in the table we wrote that if the demand is known and clearly expressed, and if it is unsatisfied, only then it is an MPV. Because if it's satisfied, it is PV. So why like parameter of value? So why
Yeah.
are we using the term MPV here?
Because there are still some alternatives जहाँ पे वो satisfied नहीं है.
It's like that we are doing something better in that same domain. So
Okay, so let's not you may not want to call it MPV, you may want to call it PV also, that is also fine, no problems. But is the concept of benchmarking clear? How do you do the benchmarking? I still put it in MPV because this is something that the customer definitely needs, and we said okay, let us put it in MPV.
Okay.
Okay, because it's a decision making thing for him. Whether I include this feature in my product or not is not a given, na? Because there is an alternative too which does not have this MPV3 as a part of it. Hmm? Okay. So what according to you could be MPV, could be alternatives for your product cycle, products that you have in your mind for the course project? Would you be looking at patent? So in fact, what I would want is that for all of you, you really identify at least 2 or 3 alternatives to your proposal, your products, and do this benchmarking as teams. Okay, when you do this benchmarking, you will automatically improvise your proposal first, and you will also be able to see where exactly you as a team, as a solution provider are adding value. Are you able to see this? अब अभी MVP की बात नहीं भी करें तो भी ठीक है. I told you about MVP because you will anyway want to do something about it when you make the presentations later. But at least now at this stage, you go and benchmark your proposal, your solution idea with other alternatives. Can we do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
So let's say there are 2 alternatives and there are 2 MPVs, and alternative 1 is good at MPV1 and alternative 2 is good at MPV2. So if I can make a proposal which where I'm doing good at both of them.
Yeah.
So will that be a good proposal?
Yes. In fact, that is all. You're leading me to the next slide, actually. So we will just now talk about it in 2 minutes. And as to how to do it.
I also have a question. So since we have not yet gone into the solutions phase, so can we just think of alternatives? I mean, without the proposal column, we can kind of build, I mean, try to identify all the MPVs and try to
So
benchmark.
what we are saying, Amit, over here is that जैसा अभी just पहले कहा कि there are 2 MPVs and 2 alternatives, and alternative 1 is good in MPV1 and alternative 2 is good in MPV2. So can I have a proposal which says I would be good in both of them? So when we want to do that, then essentially what we are saying is I would want to transfer feature of MPV1 from alternative 1 and either onto alternative 2, or I would transfer MPV2, the feature of alternative 2, onto alternative 1. So see, look at it like this. The technology, alternative 1 has advanced the technology for MPV1, and alternative 2 has advanced the technology for MPV2. I now have 2 independent new problem statements. First problem statement is how to transfer technology of alternative 1 to alternative 2. Second one is how to transfer technology of alternative 2 to alternative 1. So my problem statement has actually changed. Instead of now creating a new product altogether, I'm only talking about feature transfer. That is why we were not looking for solutions yet. Now, the problem is feature transfer and the solutions would be something different instead of to create a new product altogether.
In a way, what you're saying is that this would help us to refine our problem statement.
Yes, to arrive at a simpler, cheaper problem statement.
Like for example, a proposal could be the proposal column kind of could be replaced as a expected solution or a problem statement that can we find something which has this one in MPV1, this one in MPV2, and so on and so forth.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Like as a PhD student, you may want to explore, or you may have 7 figures of merit linked to, or 7 key parameters, KPIs, or whatever, 7 key things that you want to include in your solution. And there are 5 alternatives that exist in academia, in patents, and wherever. You list them down and you say, okay, in my project, I need the figure of merit of this, the first figure of merit to be this, second figure of merit to be this, third figure of, so you have your requirements there. The proposal one is the requirements column, you may say. And then
Yeah,
you see where to transfer this feature from.
exactly. Yeah, got it.
Hmm.